So now we want the pills to disappear when the ship touches them. And in order to do that, you need to take a look at the sprite collide method. Right? And all the answers are found here on the Pygame documentation website. So we can control F and say sprite collide, right? And so what does this take in? Well, it takes in, what does it take in? A sprite, a group, whether to get rid of the sprite or not, and yeah, that last one I don't believe we need it. So what does this mean? This means that this is going to be our ship. This is going to be the group of pills, right? And if we set this to true, then the pills that touch the ship will disappear when the ship touches the group. Okay, so yeah, reading documentation and being able to interpret it is a skill, right? It's a trained skill. So that's something that I would encourage you to spend some time developing. I've been a computer science, I studied computer science in the university level. I've been teaching for a while. I don't have any professional experience, but I feel like I have a lot of experience just kind of playing around with code. And so my point is that when I first look at documentation like this, like even I have a hard time understanding what it is saying and how I can use it in my code. And for me, it was also a learning process, right? Where I went from zero up to, I wouldn't say hero, but I went from zero up to like an adequate level where I can gather information from documentation. So yeah, so if you're initially extremely confused when you take a look at this, just understand that that's part of the process, and the more you do it and the more you struggle with it, the better you'll get at it, and eventually you'll turn into a coding ninja. All right, so let's go ahead and use the sprite collide method in our game here. So this is us. This is the update method for the pill class, right? And that, I believe, is where we want to run this. Let's see. No, actually, let's go ahead and run it in the ship update method. All right. So I'm going to drop it right in here. And so self is my ship, right? That's the one that's calling the update method here. And the pill group is the group of pills, right? And I set here to true because I want the pills to disappear or be removed from the pill group when the ship touches the pill in the group. Okay, and just to prove this is the ship class, this is the ship class here. Okay, and this is just a method that moves the ship around. This one here is a method that keeps the ship in bounds on the edges of the screen, and this is code that I'm adding. So what does sprite collide do? It checks if anything in this group has touched this sprite, the ship. And if it has, then it returns all of the pills in this group in an array. Okay, because the ship could possibly touch more than one pill in each invocation of the update method, which happens 60 times a second, right? So let's say in that 60th of a second, update is run, the ship touches 2 pills. Sprite collide is going to remove those 2 pills from this group because we set this to true, and it's going to return those 2 pills here in an array. So it's going to be like pill 1, pill 2. All right. So collisions is going to be an array of pills that the ship has touched. All right. That have been removed from the group. And so because collisions is an array of pills, we need to have a for loop that's going to iterate through those pills. All right. So the first, let me call this pill. So for the first iteration of this for loop, pill is going to be pill 1. And then the second iteration, pill, is going to be pill 2. And then there's going to be nothing left in the collisions array, and this for loop is going to end, which is going to end the update method, and then the while loop downstairs in the main function is going to iterate again. Right? So right here we're going to change this to pill.density. So what are we doing here? Right? Hold on, let me go back in time for a second. Okay, so then here we're going to say P for pill. Right here we're going to say P for pill. And so what are we doing here? What this for loop is doing, or what this algorithm here is doing, is it is taking each pill that the ship has touched, and it is adding that pill's density value, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, to the ship's density value, which is like basically the ship's score, right? So if the left ship runs its update method, and the left ship has touched some of these pills, then collisions will be in an array that contains those pills. The for loop is going to iterate through each one of the touched pills, and it's going to take that pill's density value and increment the ship's score, or the ship's density value, by that amount, right? And of course the pills are going away because we put true here. So the only thing that's missing here is the pill group, right? And update doesn't have access to it because it is not a instance variable of the ship class, right? It is coming from main, so we need to pass it in as a argument. So we're going to say pill group like that, but if we set it up as an argument in update, then that means we need to pass it in main. So ship update is here, right? Now we add in the pill group, and everything is going to work fine now, right? So let's see if it does work. I'm going to hit the play button. I'm going to go around the screen. Ooh, look at that. They disappear, right? Why? Because I put true in the sprite collide method. And if I did, I guess I could. Okay, so down here in the ship update, I guess an easy way to check that this is happening is I could print out self.density. Okay, so maybe I could say or label it, and I could say density plus. Oh, and then density is an integer, so I need to stringify it in order to concatenate it with this label. So I'm going to run it now, and we're going to look down here in the console. So my density is 169, and I eat, and you could see that it is increasing. Ooh, yes, it is increasing. All right, so I'm going to pause that. But when you notice here, you could see that yes, that 185 is. I'm sorry. Let me go up a little bit. The 169. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go up further. Okay. So the 184 has increased to 185, right? But then we have this 169 that keeps appearing, right? And what is this 169? Well, this is the left ship, and I'm actively eating the pills. And this is the right ship who is not actively eating the pills. So his density value is staying the same, right? And if you remember, when we made the density value, what we did is we made it equal to 169 because we set the ship's size, or his width and his height, to be equal to 169, the square root of 169, right? So that's something that we're going to talk about when we get the ship to grow. Yeah, so we set our density value to ship width times ship height, and that's going to make a little bit more sense when we move forward. But when we're here and we're trying to print it out, I guess a way that we can understand it a little easier if we subtract 169 so that the density starts out at 0. Okay, so let me go ahead and start that, and you could see here that we got density 0, 0, and I eat these pills, and my score is going up, right? All right. And so now you can see that happening, right? We start out at 0, 0, and then now the left ship is going up to 1 because I ate a pill, And then here I ate another one pill whose density value is 1, and the right ship is scoreless, right? So we can see here that our algorithm is working correctly. Right? Okay, so I can go ahead and delete that print, save it, and we can move on to the next task.